Hey, this is Kat from Red Mountain Shaman, and I share shamanic wisdom through dreams, visions, nature, synchronicities, intuition, channeling, art, music, photography, and shamanic journeys. Welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to talk about a few personal experiences I had, things I saw in journeys, things that came through in sessions, a channeled message, as well as a oracle card today to try to get an energy read on this week's situations. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was that I had a vision that I saw part of the golden dome of the Dome of the Rock in Israel. I saw part of it look like it was damaged or like part was missing or caved in. So I'm not sure if that is a premonition or if it's a metaphor for the kind of a crack in the armor of Islam. I'm not quite sure what that meant. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. Or maybe it's playing out right now. I saw this a few weeks ago, so it could have something to do with what's happening right now. I'm not sure. The next thing I saw was a goose spirit animal in somebody's session this week. And when I looked it up, what really stood out to me for the energy right now is unexpected intervention of the divine. And I've talked about this in past videos where that song by Alison Moyet kept coming up in my mind. We all need divine intervention, I think is the name of it. I'm not quite sure. But and then another thing that this goose spirit animal's energy had when I looked it up was staying vigilant. So paying attention, having situational awareness, and standing in your truth and power. And then interestingly enough, a couple days later, I saw that Laura's View and Tarot 2, she has a channel, and that's the name of it. She reposted a Q post, and that same, I guess it was just 2 days later, it said the same message: stay vigilant, situational awareness, false flag weather. Yeah, that was an interesting synchronicity. So another thing I saw was, sorry, I'm reading my notes here. I saw flags waving, and I saw a parade and a drill team. So obviously we had a parade. Was that yesterday? And maybe there will be a second parade. I'm not sure, but this is what I saw about maybe 4 days ago. And then I saw, this is the second or third time I've seen this, and it was in somebody's session, and this deer came forward, and this deer had a wreath around it. And what I'm getting from this deer with the wreath is, it was like a floral wreath, is the victory of the divine feminine. So I looked up the female deer, and the spiritual meaning is, in some traditions, it's associated with wisdom, intuition, and purity and innocence, nurturing and fertility, and gentleness, intuition, feminine energy. The doe embodies the feminine principle, representing qualities like intuition, creativity, and emotional depth. Also adaptability and survival and spiritual connection. So yeah, I feel like this divine feminine energy is going to be gaining more power. And this week when we were on our walks, we go on this little nature path twice. There's been a stag and a doe just laying there, not too far off, maybe 20 feet away. Usually these deer see us and they run away, but the last week they've just been staying there in their spots, and they just lay there and stare at us. And so one has some horns, so I know it's a stag, and the other one is a doe. So I felt this really... this doe and stag energy coming forward this week a lot, and that's why I took the picture on the front cover of this video. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about was my brother had a dream about our mom, and in his dream he just said that she was almost like in a fetal position, like kind of like a child again. And that she just said, it was really simple. She just said, "I'm going home." So it's interesting because in a session this week, a client's mother came in who had passed on, And she said, keep a dream journal because I can come and speak to you in your dreams. And so then the third synchronicity was with Paul White Gold Eagle on his channel. He was talking about how it used to be like a really normal way of communicating with our ancestors is through dreams. So I think that was kind of a powerful message that had 3 synchronicities this week that's coming through is moving back into like telepathic communication, dream communication, just being able to communicate with our ancestors and with those on the other side as our veil is starting to lift more and more, I think. So then I mentioned in another video that I got that 2025 would be like the peak of the wave or transition. And then this Laura's View in Tarot 2, she said something very similar in this video that I saw. And she said 2025 is the eye of the storm, but also victory. So a lot of synchronicities with what I'm getting. I remember in a video I posted last year, Yeshua showed up in a shamanic journey and he had a Civil War outfit on, but he winked at me. So I'm trying to like figure out what this wink meant. But I feel like it's like when somebody winks at you, like it's like an inner knowing with that person, almost like we've got this, like, we're on the same page. So I feel like he's saying, don't be in fear. We've got this. And I think there are lots of beings around our planet right now who are assisting with this transformation and with this big shift from light to dark. Okay, so then I think sometimes my guides bring up videos that like really shouldn't be in my algorithms, like randomly sometimes to give me like an energy read or something that they want to bring my attention to. One of the videos was this woman talking about how sick of fakeness she was, sick of the fake world. And she was talking about how like now you go to the store and you buy something and it breaks in a few months and you have to go buy it again, just contributing to the landfills. And how, more people are going back to simplicity, antiques, old things because people used to make things that would last for a long, long time. And it's just like this kind of like throwaway culture. I even feel like as a musician, that music has become like a throwaway culture. You just have this song that comes and then people throw it away and people don't really like hold on to like vinyl records much anymore. I mean, there is like a small subculture that will, but it just seems like people don't really like, spend time looking at the artwork and looking at the lyrics and really getting into the music. It's just like, oh, here's another song and then it's gone. So it just seems like this world of throwaway culture, fakeness, and people are just getting really sick of it. And then another video that popped up that I think people are getting really sick of is being in survival mode. This video had clip after clip after clip of people talking about how they just went to the store and got their medicine and then they got some gas and now they only have $10 in their account, or they just bought food and now like their whole bank account is wiped out just to buy, a few items and it cost them like $80. So it was just lots and lots of people complaining about how expensive things are and how we're just turning our wheels. We work all day long and then we get to the weekend and we don't even have money to do anything fun. And a lot of people are saying, and even if we did have money to do something fun, like so much of the entertainment industry has also just become so fake as well. Just really lacking soul. So I wanted to ask in the channeling maybe about that, if that's going to be changing. We are in the year of the snake. So I try to keep my mind remembering that we are shedding our old skin and so that we can make room for the new. So hopefully this death of the old world or of this fake culture, everything's just gotten so expensive. Like hopefully these old paradigms will be shifting soon. So another thing that happened in somebody's session was the same woman, her mother who came into the session. I said, oh, I see your mom, and she's pulling out a golden coin out of her pocket and she's holding it out to you in her hand. And I'm not going to get into, her personal meaning of what that meant, but she said, oh, my mom gave me these gold coins and it helped her figure out something that her deceased mother wanted her to do with these coins. But in my synchronicity, I kept getting Cernunnos' energy the last few weeks. I almost shared one of his messages last week, but Yeshua came in more strongly, so I shared his message. But Cernunnos is related to wealth and prosperity. He often comes to me with gold coins. Like, he has this bag of gold coins, and I'll often see gold coins falling in front of me when his energy is around. He's also very connected to nature. So he's the being that came through today. And a lot of people are kind of, I feel like, don't really understand who he is, or they're afraid of him because his energy's been very inverted. The first time he came to me was after I watched a movie that centered around Cernunnos, but it kind of made him out to be like kind of a scary being. And I feel like a lot of horror movies do that with anything spiritual or with anything of the supernatural, that Hollywood really wants to make us afraid of connecting with anything. So I just tell people the way that I avoid connecting with anything dark is anytime I do any spiritual work at all, I always set intentions, ground myself, and protect myself. So one of the intentions you can set before connecting with anything spiritual is to say, I don't consent to any tricksters, false light beings, or imposters. Only the beings of love and light that have my best interest at heart. So this is what I do in my sessions. This is what I do in my own journeys. And this is what I do before I channel anything at all before I make my videos. So just passing that on to you guys so you're not falling into the trap of this horror film industry of making us fear anything spiritual. Okay, so two other beings that are really associated with prosperity and wealth and abundance is not only Cernunnos, but Lakshmi and Ganesha, and they often work together. And I have channeled Ganesha several times, but never Lakshmi. So she came into a session this week through a card with my son. And I always say these beings are kind of like, they're like ascended beings, or some people call them deities, but I call them deities with a little d, because they always tell me there's only one creator, there's only one great spirit, there's only one mother, father, God, however you want to call that. But these beings, I just believe, are really deeply connected to the God force and to the creator's energy. And so they are really good at bringing forth a wisdom from a higher perspective. So that's why I like to channel them. I always say I'm channeling them. I'm co-creating these transmissions with my own thoughts. And so it's kind of a joint venture with them. So what's really cool today is that when I asked to draw a card, I said, Cernunnos, could you please, your energy and my higher self and the creator, please, help me draw a card that is the best card for today. And the same card that I drew for my son flew out, because I was thinking, that would be such a great card for the collective too. It's such a powerful message. So I'll read that at the end if you want to stick around. Okay, so on with the transmission. Again, I do not let these beings into my body. I just telepathically hear what they're saying and I type it out. And this is what I heard. Message from Cernunnos, June 15th, 2025. Let it be known that I am one associated with nature and the divine. I carry the energy of fertility and abundance. I have been trying to get your attention with the rabbits and stag that you have been seeing. My deep connection to the natural world connects me to those on a shamanic path who know and understand that the Great Spirit speaks through nature and all living things have consciousness. In this respect, I am also connected to those who are on an animistic path, for shamanism and animism are one and the same. Religion took my image that has been found on ancient artifacts, and they have inverted my connection to nature and the horned stag. As God speaks through nature, God speaks through me. I am a divine conduit, as are you. Those deeply connected to nature and on this shamanic path will likely, at some point, connect to my energy as I tread the same pathway. Now that we have this out of the way, for those who may still be conditioned to fear me, I bring forth a message from my perspective within the ascended realms. And this is to hold the line and to never give up. Despite being part of the fallen world, I urge you to keep going until you see the dawn. You are in the eye of the storm. You are in the eye of the wave. Ride out the storm. Ride out the waves of energy that you feel coming in one after another. For a new dawn will indeed rise. Many of you are battle-weary and exhausted from the pummel of energies and the acceleration of events. I carry the snake in one hand and the torque in another. The torque is symbolic of prosperity and wealth. The snake is symbolic of death and rebirth. As we are in the year of the snake, many are shedding their old skins to make room for the new. Many are shedding old relationships that no longer suit them. Many are shedding old jobs, old residences, old habits. Continue to allow the shedding of all that is no longer in alignment with your new skin, and you shall grow into the new chapters and experience the transformation your soul is seeking. Giving birth to something new is never easy. It can be messy and painful, but the sprouts of new earth will begin to shoot up as you make room for this rebirth and allow the old world to fall away. You could say that what is no longer in harmony with Mother Earth and all that is no longer in harmony with freedom will be going up in smoke as we walk through the refiner's fire and into a new world. I am here to assist, as are many other ascended beings of light from many cultures and many epochs. We are gathering now as a family of unity. We create a circle of love as we find ourselves moving forward together in this new light. This once forgotten frequency of sovereignty is pushing through as the veil thins. You will be seeing many different reactions to this new frequency. Some will flail about in anger and rage, and some are losing hope. Some fight against what is happening as they cling to the old paradigms. Others are welcoming the light, and some are frustrated that the changes are not happening soon enough. Still, others wish everything would go back to their perspective of normal. But we cannot turn back now. The old normal is not returning. In fact, much of what was considered normal will continue to dissolve. No matter how you see things, a great change and transformation is happening, and this you can be sure of. Those who are vigilant and grounded in their authenticity and connection to the natural world and the Creator will continue to welcome this change, for they know in their hearts that the divine is moving in mysterious ways in order to bring about peace, unity, and prosperity to earth once again. Celebrations are coming. The golden age of prosperity is coming. It is sooner than you think, for the time is at hand when all that opposes this new light shall be as the dust from whence it came. All roads lead to Rome, which was even the empire that snuffed out my flame. But I have returned, as have many of you who have also been silenced, shamed, tortured, slandered, and even had your very lives stolen from you throughout many incarnations of suppression. But the light of the Creator can never be suppressed for long, for it is within you. The kingdom is indeed within you, and no false rulers or kings can permanently snuff that out. As we have said, the old guard is falling. The new guard will be those who have found the kingdom within, those who lead with love and wisdom of the great I Am. The ancient builder races have returned and are at the ready to rebirth and rebuild new earth. The apple continues to appear to you as a symbol of this new earth. The Eden of the old shall return, and the garden shall flourish. What was once a desert shall bloom. What was once a dry riverbed shall flow once again. I and many other ascended beings surround the planet in love, helping to bring all darkness to the surface and rooting out all who are maintaining a society of manipulation and control. For the new frequencies pouring in will not hold these old systems any longer. They must depart. They will kick and scream and burn things down, but they will not succeed, for no weapon formed against you will be able to prosper any longer. You are seeing the final displays of what I would call the temper tantrums of the wicked and those who mistakenly follow their lead through mind manipulation, bribery, and payoffs. But rest assured that there is nowhere left to hide, for the light will shine in all corners of darkness until nothing remains hidden any longer. And this has been prophesied as the great apocalypse to the great uncovering. Stand in the serenity of nature and trust in the Great Spirit to lead you out of the old world and into the new earth. Be the beacon of light and truth you came here to be. You are indeed magnetizing heaven to earth. Feel this within your being and stand tall as you ride out the storm. Peace be with you, my beloved rainbow warriors. Where we go one, we go all. And it is into the golden light of creation we go. Thank you, Cernunnos. So he's talking about a vision that I had a few months ago that, I had in my hand a Roman soldier, and he just was tiny, and I just blew on him and he turned to dust. So in that vision, I just believe that it's just showing us that all this suppression, that everything that has kind of come out of Rome and suppressed everything and suppressed all the truth, that will be turning back to dust. And then also, I believe that Cernunnos is very connected to the energy of the stag. And so I wanted to look up the stag and the spiritual meaning. And the stag symbolizes strength, intuition, and a connection to the spiritual realm. It's often seen as a messenger between worlds, a guide on a spiritual quest, and a representation of regeneration and rebirth. The stag's powerful legs and strong hooves also embody fortitude and the courage to stand firm, which is the energy that we are really needing right now. So I remember I was going up on a hike a few years ago with my husband, and we were going up kind of a steep hill, and my husband was kind of ahead of me, and he had already gone around a corner. And as I kind of was coming up this hill, all of a sudden there was this huge full-grown stag with massive antlers, and he was literally like 2 feet away from me, and he just stood there and stared at me. He didn't run away, he didn't move, and we just stared at each other for a few minutes. And it was just wow, it was just such a majestic moment. So, more meanings of the stag. Strength and courage, the stag's physical power and endurance to make it a symbol of resilience and inner strength. It encourages individuals to stand their ground and face challenges with courage. Intuition and connection to the spiritual realm. The stag is often associated with intuition and a connection to the other world, particularly in Celtic traditions. It can act as a guide or messenger, helping individuals access deeper awareness and understanding. Transformation and rebirth. The stag's antlers, which are shed and regrow each year, symbolize transformation, rebirth, and the cyclical nature of life. This makes the stag a powerful symbol of regeneration and the ability to overcome challenges and emerge stronger. And the stag shedding its antlers also reminds me of the snake shedding its skin. Very much the same concept of transformation. So the stag also can symbolize messengers and guardians. In various mythologies, the stag has been seen as a messenger or guardian, leading individuals on a spiritual journey or guiding them to new paths. Leadership and nobility. The stag's majestic appearance and regal bearing often symbolize leadership, nobility, and a connection to the divine. Creativity and inspiration. The stag can also inspire creativity, and new ideas, encouraging individuals to embrace their creative potential and birth new projects. And I've been talking about our projects for years now. So I really hope that we can be able to bring them into form soon. So the next thing it can be associated with is the Celtic god Cernunnos or Cernunos, and it is the sacred stag, which emphasizes the connection to nature, fertility, and the spiritual realm. And then in Christian symbolism, it can represent Christ, who is often depicted as overcoming challenges and ascending to the higher realm. Okay, so I'm going to read the card, and I asked if Cernunos and my higher self and the creator would use their energy to pull this card. And like I said, the same card that came out for my son this week just flipped out of the deck right before this video. So it's number 17 from the Earth Warriors Oracle, and it's by Alana Fairchild, whom I love, and she also has a YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking her channel out, Alana Fairchild. She makes a lot of awesome oracle card decks. So this deck is called Padma Sundari. Out of darkness, the light is born. The light is powerful enough to survive exposure to the darker side of humanity and remain pure, empowered, and effective. Trust in your spiritual purpose as a light in this world. Trust particularly in your ability to bring purity, order, grace, and light to disorder, chaos, and destruction. The divine is ever by your side and ever within your heart, assisting you with this higher purpose in all ways. Inner reading. All issues can be healed through the unlimited recourse and creative resourcefulness of the divine. You are destined to be part of a creative solution for any issue that you have in your life or that exists in the world and touches your heart. The issue only exists so that the divine genius can resolve it. Struggles are sometimes the best way for us to learn something we need to understand for our life journey. Trust that when you ask for help, even apparently impossible situations can be turned around. And I think I have a video called The Impossible Becomes Possible. That's been kind of a theme with my guides this year. Trust that when you ask for help, even apparently impossible situations can be turned around, and with willing human engagement and divine grace, there is more than enough light, healing, creative innovation, wisdom, and energy available to keep Mother Earth and all her creatures, including humanity, thriving. Never give up on your hope and trust in what is possible, nor your willingness to act upon that hope and trust. And then the spiritual guidance. The Divine Mother, in the form of Padma Sundari, is Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, beauty, love, and spiritual enlightenment, represented as a shining lotus, an ancient symbol for spiritual enlightenment. The lotus rests pure upon the muddy waters from which it has grown. Lakshmi's divine lotus flowers remind us that the spiritual light needs material form through which it can manifest itself in the world, as if it were divine electricity needing the lamp of the soul through which to give the gift of illumination. Without the lamp, the electricity cannot manifest its power, and without electricity, the lamp cannot fulfill its true purpose. When the oracle of Padma Sundari appears, her message is that you are able to do a lot of good in this world. The Divine Mother will assist you with your purpose so that you succeed, but you must take action. Allow the light of spirit into your soul so that you never again feel you are doing anything on your own. Remind yourself regularly that you have a divine sponsor, guide, coach, partner, and friend with you always. That friend has unlimited resources and the most powerful will of all. Notice how your confidence to take action increases when you build that belief system within you. How much more secure, courageous, and willing you become. Part of your spiritual path requires that you walk your talk and live in a way that shows optimism and practicality. When something's not working, we don't need to hide from it in shame. We face it because we have spiritual self-esteem and self-confidence. When we choose courage, we can confront what isn't working and are able to search for answers. Rather than becoming overwhelmed or afraid of any darkness, remember that the Holy Mother is with you and around you. With your active participation, she will bring you everything that you need to confront and tackle any issue, no matter how intimidating it may seem, one step at a time. Along with the power of your divine connection, you have the power and intelligence and ability to find information, to educate yourself, to try out new behaviors, so as to become an active part of the solution for any matter that moves you deeply. Taking these steps will boost your self-esteem and your energy levels, helping you to feel good about yourself and your presence in the world. It's not about being perfect. It's just about taking the next step for you. Trust in divine timing, realizing that there is far-reaching good that can happen through you as you connect to be actively engaged with life and your inner divine relationship. Believe in what we can and will accomplish together through our passionate love affair with the Great Spirit and our adoring devotion to the Earth Mother and her children. So I hope you guys enjoyed that message. It really seems to resonate with the channeling that Cernunnos brought forward, about not giving up and standing in your power and strength and being a light in this world, even through the chaos and destruction. Because they always say they're just, taking down the old in order to make room for the new. They've shown me several times this bulldozing down an old foundation so that a new house can be built. You can't build the new house if the old foundation is still sitting there rotting. So I hope that metaphor makes sense to you guys, and I hope you enjoyed those messages. And if you'd like to book a session with me, go to redmountainshaman.com. And you can go to my contact page to get directions on how to do that. And at the bottom of that contact page, there is also my PayPal if you would like to make a donation, but you don't have to. These videos, I always do them for free. But I want to send a big thank you, especially to John and Gretchen for your generous donations. That really helps me get through and pay my bills. This is my only job, this and my sessions. So all the donations, even little ones, are so greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And I do these videos every Sunday, so please check back, because a lot of people say that my videos don't pop up on their feed very much, so I might be being shadow banned, I'm not sure. So just please press the notification bell, like, subscribe, leave a comment. All of that stuff really helps me a lot. So I wanted to end this to leave a little excerpt from a video I saw called The Psychology of Animals. And Carl Jung kind of talked about how spirit animals work with us. So it's just a quick clip, and here it is. And I will see you guys next Sunday. Have a great week and take care.
Animals have a special relationship with the divine. The Ainu shamans of Japan consider animals as gods in disguise, who live in their own god worlds, invisible to human eyes, but who also share a common territory with humans. Many primitive tribes wear animal masks in their sacred ceremonies, and have animal totems, where a certain animal can act as a spiritual guide to the person or their community. In Native American culture, a neophyte is accompanied by animal spirits during his or her initiation to become a shaman. These act as psychopomps, guiding one's soul through the untamed lands. Swiss psychiatrist and psychologist Carl Jung frequently remarked that animals embody the divine aspect of the human psyche. Animals are deeply connected to a secret order within nature itself, and the absolute knowledge of the unconscious.